Hello, my name is CMA Santosh Sharma. I am a faculty of Fundamental of Business Mathematics and Statistics. Well, first of all, I welcome you on TopLad. And friends, let's some excitement in maths and to overcome the fear of solving maths. Basically, today we will discuss about the structure of CMA Foundation subject Fundamental of Business Mathematics and Statistics. What is the structure, syllabus structure, and marks allotted to each chapter. This is very important before starting my session. So let's start the structure of Fundamental of Business Mathematics and Statistics. Friend, basically our mathematics and stat, this is the two area which will going to study. So first of all, we will discuss about the ABC analysis of the subject, which chapter is initially start at the top level and the bottom level. So this is basically a 50 question and 2 marks each, total 100 marks paper. Basically maths is 40% and stat is 60%. So discuss about ABC analysis. Talk about the A category. In A category, number 1 is theory of stat. Cover 10 marks. It means 5 to 6 questions asked in the exam. And under A category, second chapter would be simple interest and compound interest. Third one is covered under A category, and simple interest and compound interest cover at least 6 marks. 6 marks means 3 questions. And third one is quadratic equation. From this chapter, our institute asked at least 2 questions. It means 4 marks. And fourth one is ratio proportion and variation. From this chapter, our institute asked around 4 questions, means 8 marks. So this is our A category chapter. Basically ABC analysis, it doesn't mean that only we have to read only A category chapter or B category chapter and C will ignore. It doesn't mean. Basically A category means effort less and you get high marks. With very less efforts you can get high marks, and percentage of accuracy is also 100%. So friends, now talk about B category. B category. Under B category, we will study B category. Our B category means you can say marks and your efforts are equal. Let's say you invest 1 second, 1 minute, at least 1 minute, very less time you complete the question. Okay friends? So our under B category, our number 1 chapter is, chapter name is set. Okay, sets. Under sets, you can say only 1 question, that means 2 marks. And second chapter is, or friends, this chapter is some students feeling like very tough. Permutation, and combination. Permutation and combination. From this chapter, our institute asked around 3 questions. 3 questions. 3 questions means 6 marks from the permutation and combination. And third chapter is probability. Probability. And probability, from this chapter, our institute, if you saw previous past paper, our institute asked around 6 questions. 6 questions means 12 marks. 6 questions means 12 marks. And very, very important chapter from the statistics. Chapter name is Central Tendency and disbursement. Can anyone tell how much question our institute asked in the previous years? Any guess? From this chapter, our institute asked highest number of questions. Any guess? Okay. Total question, we put only minimum 12 question. 12 question. Our institute asked 12 question. 12 question means 24 marks. Friend, in my class, very tough chapter in the eye of the students become very easy chapter just because of we will more focus on the toughest part of the subject of the chapter, and we do more practice, more and more practice. Friends, very important quotation we would like to quote here. Practice makes a man perfect. It totally applies on the mathematics subject and statistics subject. Mathematics and statistics subjects basically are practical subject. You can't just read like a novel and other things. If you really want to expert to get 100 out of 100 marks in mathematics and statistics subject, you do a lot of homework, lot of practice. Practice needs better understanding of the subject. Without understanding and concept of the subject, we can't get good marks. This course, CMA, Cost and Management Accountant, very, very versatile field, and we are at the very first stage level 1, and so friends, now move on the C category of the subject. C category, and in the eye of the students, this chapter is very, very tough, very, very tough. So this toughest part, I am here just because of to remove the toughest part of the subject, and our student, our TopLad student, into the examination hall feel like very comfortable with the toughest part of the subject. So friends, now move on to the C category of the now talks about the C category. Okay, under C category, under C category, friends, under C category means your marks and your effort. You have to put more efforts. Obviously you can get a marks, but also you have to put more time to solve the question of C category. Why I am saying like this? So see, our number 1 chapter is AP and GP. Our institute asked from this chapter around 2 questions, means 4 marks, and student feel like this is tough. This is tough, very hard. And second one chapter is log and indices. From this chapter, our institute asked around 3 questions. 3 questions means 6 marks. This is also T category. T indicate tough. And third one is correlation and regression. Friends, this is last chapter under C category, and our institute asked from this chapter the second highest questions, only from this chapter, second highest. Any guess how many questions basically asked from this chapter? Any guess? Any students guess? Okay, around 7 to 8 questions asked from this chapter, means 14 marks. But this is also, the students feel like tough. This is tough. Friends, we have discussed all the chapters. Excuse me, just a minute. Excuse me. So friends, we have discussed all the chapter with the marks, allocation of marks for the each chapters. Now friends, talk about marks, 50 question. 2 marks is going to this is 100. This is 100 marks. 50 question, 2 marks. So friend, in my class, basically, first of all, for the mathematics and statistics subject, first important thing is concept. So first of all, whenever we will study the new chapter, we will talk about the concept part, because concept is very important. If you don't have concept about the chapter, how I will start? So first of all, we will discuss about the concept part. And then we will discuss like MCQ part, MCQ questions. This is the pattern of this subject. And MCQ questions, especially MCQ questions from your MTP, and then your like workbook and your past papers, past papers. And then friend, after completing the chapter, we will do quiz. Okay. In quiz session, I ask one question and student attempt those questions. And then after quiz, we will take chapter wise test. Chapter wise test is very important for the assessment of the students. So we will take chapter wise test. And after that, we also take mock session. And last one is your very important, your revision, your revision session. So basically this is 6 points. During my class, we will discuss in that manner, and I assured, if you will sincerely do study, your 60 marks and 40 marks, total 100 marks. Friends, if you do hard work, if you do homework at your home and do practice a lot for very, very important, very, very interesting subject like mathematics and statistics, you can get 100 marks. I am sure every student touch this level. For 60 marks, you will get very easily. 60 marks you can get very easily if you just listen my lecture daily and just half an hour after the class you do homework. For the 40 marks, you do extra effort. Extra effort means more revision. More and more revision. More and more revision, you can get 100 marks. So this is about the subject. Friends, very beginning we discussed about the allocation of marks. Allocation of marks. And now friends, every class, situation of the class. Situation means situation of the class. Some of the students background like topper background. Some of the students are topper. Some of the students, you can say topper 90 above. And some of the students about the knowledge of the subject after passing the 12th examination, like 50-50%. And some of the students are new about this. Some of the topics are new for some students. So friends, those students who are the topper, those who feel like I am a topper, and in future also become a topper, you do more revision. Okay. So 3 category of the students into the class. Okay. Average, you can say average. Okay. So now friend, now talk about the study material provided by the TopLad, and I hope all the students at least see the study material. So friends, first of all, we already talked about the concept part. Emphasize on the concept. So we will provide concept book. Concept book means formula book. And then TopLad would provide stat theory book, and also practice books. This practice book covered all the question from the MCQ part, from the past papers, from the mock test paper, also workbook, provided by our institute, Cost and Management Accounting Institute. If some of the students think like we have to study only one book, don't go for MCQ, past year papers, mock test paper, workbook, and then study material. We will compile all the questions from the MCQ, past papers, mock test paper, workbook in the practice book at the one place. You just do practice book, just use the practice books and get 100% marks. I assure you would definitely got 100 marks if you do revision. More revision, you can get more marks. So third one is practice book. Practice books. Every student think about what is important. What is the important question, and we just go through all the important question and attempt the paper. So don't worry. We will provide all the important question. You can say very hot questions. This question will basically our institute provide mock test paper, different mock test paper before going to the exam. In every attempt, our institute or provide mock test paper. So at least our role is we will compile all the mock test paper. From the mock test paper, pick those questions, those concepts at least asked into the paper. Repeatedly time our institute asked concept based paper. Number is different, but concept is same. You can do more and more questions. For the one concept. If you really master of the subject, so you have to understand the concept part. Okay. So friends, first of all, we will provide the concept book. You can say formula book. Also provide stats, statistics theory book, practice book. This practice books covered all the question asked in past year papers, in mock test papers, in workbook. All the question asked from different areas, different books. We will compile and provide the, you can say practice book, you can say magic, you can say this book is magic book. Okay. And also, before going to attempt the exam, before going to the examination hall, you definitely wants to assess the preparation, assess the own preparation of the subject. So, for assessing the subject, we will provide important questions. Important question. Our institute also provide mock test paper. We will also provide mock test paper under the mock test paper. You can see very important questions, very important concept, asked by our institute, so that you can get a good marks. Okay, friend? So now move on to the mathematics and stat. Now friends, one more thing. We have discussed about, you can say, ABC analysis. ABC analysis. Now we will discuss chapter wise, chapter wise, like you can say chapter, question and marks. Number 1, again, ratio. Ratio and proportion. From this chapter, ratio and proportion, our institute asked how much question? 3 question. From it means 3 question means 6 marks. Second one is log. Second chapter is logarithm. Log. From this chapter, our institute asked around 3 questions. When this is a minimum question, institute asked based on our analysis of the previous papers. We have seen repeatedly time institute asked around 3 questions. It might be 4 questions. It might be 2 questions. But on average, 3 questions are institute asked from this chapter. Question 3. 3 question means 6 marks. Third one is indices. From this chapter, our institute asked around 2 questions, 4 marks. And then simple interest. From the simple interest, our institute asked around 2 questions, 4 marks. Fifth one, compound interest, only 1 question, 2 marks. Sixth one, AP and GP. From the AP and GP chapter, institute asked 3 questions, means 6 marks. 7th chapter is sets. From this chapter, institute asked only 1 question. Very small chapter, only 1 question. 1 question means 2 marks. And then 6th, 7th, and then 8th. 8th chapter is permutation and combination. Asked 3 questions. 3 questions means 6 marks. 9th chapter is quadratic equation. 2 questions. 2 questions, 6 marks. Quadratic equation. So this is about the mathematics. This is about the mathematics subject. Marks allocate to the each chapter. Now, friends, we are going to talk about statistics part. You know, statistics covered 60%. Statistics cover 60%. Statistics. So first of all, stat theory. How much question? Stat theory and marks. 5 questions. Very simple theory. You just read and get a 5 mark. 5 question means 10 marks. You get 10 marks. Stat theory. And the second one is central tendency dispersion and skewness. Central tendency Any guess how much question our institute asked from this single chapter? Any guess? Any guess from student sides? How much question asked from central tendency, depression and skewness chapter? 15 question. 15 question means 30 marks. Very important. Central tendency, dispersion. Very important chapter. So we will discuss in detail about this chapter and remove the toughness of this chapter. Okay, friends? Now move on to third one. Third one is correlation and regression. Correlation and regression. Any guess? How much question? Can anyone want to attempt this? So, friends, our institute asked around 5 question, means 10 marks. And the last one is which one? Probability. And our institute asked from this chapter how much question? 5 question, 10 marks. Probability and permutation and combination, both are interconnected. Institute asked for permutation and combination chapter at least 3 question, means 8 question. So basically this is the structure of the mathematics and statistics paper. Mathematics covered 40%. Mathematics covered 40% and statistics covered 60% marks. Total 100%. So friends, please keep in mind, and you can easily decide at least how much time you will give to each chapter. Basic principle, like just a minute. So this is simple funda, friends, simple principle. Marks. Time. Marks. Relation between marks and time. Time means revision time. Revision time. Let's say 30 marks chapter. 30 marks chapter. To at least 30 marks chapter, at least you have to devote more time for 30 marks chapter. Of which one? Central tendency version. Central tendency chapter. 30 marks chapter, central tendency. 30 marks. Next one is 10 marks chapter, correlation and regression. You have to also devote more time for correlation and regression chapter. Friends, mathematics is a subject like, if you enjoy, then you feel like very, very comfortable zone. So you have to create the interest, and during the examination hall you feel very comfortable. Subject to, you do more and more revision. So this is a basic thing you have to keep into the mind. So friends, today we have discussed about allocation of the marks. Each chapter, our institute asked repeatedly asked question we have discussed so friends, at least all the students, I hope that understand the subject, understand the chapter, and very, very don't take stress. Don't take like maths subject is very tough subject, and don't exam phobia of the subject, especially subject mathematics subject. So friends, today we will start from the chapter simple. So friends, today we will start from the simple interest chapter. Let's take a very simple example. you start CMA foundation level. So you will invest some money. Definitely you will invest some money. Let's say for the sake like 10,000. 10,000 money you invested for the CMA foundation level. For how much time? 1 year. 1 year. And let's say assume interest rate like 6%. See, so at least your expectation is whenever you will invest some money for 1 year at the rate of 6%, after 1 year, what is your interest? What is your at least you want more money after 1 year. More money from this course, from this subject. And another example, you take money from the friends to complete this course, to complete this foundation level, and after 1 year your friend will ask some return. So friends, if you invest 10,000 money, 10,000 money for 1 year, 10,000 money for 1 year, and 6%, and 6%. How much extra pay you have to pay to the friend? How much? $10,000 into 6 divide 100. This is equal to 600. This is the MCQ based exam. There is no need to give write this thing. This is the MCQ based. You directly put 600. Because there is no step marking. This is the MCQ based exam. So at least you have to pay to your friend 600 more rupees. It means you have to total amount 10,000 plus 600. It means 10,000 plus 600, 10,600 you have to pay after 1 year to your friend, because ultimately we have so this is a simple calculation, a very simple question. So we can easily derive the formula from here, like two formula we will derive from this question. One is amount is equal to principal plus interest. One formula. Amount is equal to principal plus interest. And also derive interest is equal to P R T upon 100. Okay, 1, 2, 3. you see A is equal to principal plus interest. Principal plus, you can put here PRT 100. You take common P from here, 1 plus RT divide 100. Okay friends, so 3 important formula we have derived. You have to just remember. There is no need to go for derivation. This of this formula. This is very important formula. So 3 formula. 3 1. This one. Say okay. Okay. So this one, and this one. One interest, after that this one and this one. In simple interest chapter, you have to remember 3 formulas. I is equal to PRT divided 100. A is equal to P bracket 1 plus RT is equal to 100 bracket close. A is equal to principal plus interest in the formula manner. So now we will start question like friends, you have to enjoy the class. Don't take pressure. Don't take mathematics pressure and all, exam phobia and all that, these things. So question. Question, right, this language, this is good. Friend, how much will Mr. X get if he invest rupees 10,000 for 1 year at the rate of 6%. Option A. Please attempt this question. I will give 3 minutes time to you. Please attempt this question. Please attempt. Very simple question. Our institute asked sometime this type of questions. Very simple question. Very simple chapter. Our chapter name is today is also very simple. Friends, we have already discussed the concept formula for solving this question. Please attempt. And give me an answer. Please attempt. After 3 minutes, I will stamp this question for you. Into the examination hall, you just tick mark, whether you do at Kelsey or do on paper or do on mind. Ultimately you have to solve and get an answer. Correct answer, you just tick whether correct answer in A, in B, in C, in D. Ultimately you have to give, you have only 4 options, A, B, C and D. You have to check the correct option. Any students attempt this question? Please. Okay, so now answer. How much will Mr. X get if he invests 10,000 rupees for 1 year at the rate of 6%? How much will Mr. X get if he invests 10,000 rupees for 1 year? So our principal is 10,000 amount. Our principal is 10,000 amount. Time already given. How much? 1 year. Time already given, 1 year. And rate 6%. 6% rate is already given. How much? 6% means 600. So how much will Mr. S get? So you remember, A is equal to P plus I. Principal is 10,000. Interest is 600. The total amount Mr. X will get is 10,600. During the examination hall, you have 4 options, A, B, C, D, like 10,600, like 10,500, 10,300, 10,200. You just tick, this one is correct. This one is correct. 10,600 Mr. X will get after 1 year. Very simple question. Sometimes we can borrow money from the bank, from the friends. Suppose Mr. X borrow money from the bank, from the friends, like 10,000 rupees for the 1 year, and at the rate of 6%. So whether Mr. X or your friend, ultimately pay 10,600. Okay. So now move on to the next question. This is a very simple chapter, and each and every student of my class, understood the concept and understood the solution of this question. You just enjoy. Don't take pressure. Whether chapter, whether syllabus, we will finish on time, and we will provide sufficient time okay. So the next question. So number 2 question. How much do we need to invest in order to get, be carefully, how much do we need to invest in order to get 20,000 after 2 years at the rate of 6%. Please attempt this question. I will give you 5 minutes to attempt this question. Read carefully. Basic principle of the mathematics subject. You have to read the question at least 2 times. At least 2 times you have to read the question and understand the concept behind how to solve the question. I will give you 5 minutes. Please attempt it. I once again read for you. How much do we need to invest in order to get 20,000 after 2 years at the rate of 6%. Please try to attempt. Each and every student in my class try to solve this question. Take sufficient time. Ultimately you get 2 marks. If you do hurriedly, might be chance to get a wrong answer. Always try to attempt to get a correct answer. For getting correct answer, you need to follow the steps. If you to just jump one step, it might be chances to get a wrong answer. So please attempt all the steps. Remember formulas we have discussed at the very beginning. 3 formulas we have discussed with you. Remember? Okay, anyone get an answer? Anyone? So now start. So what is the requirement? First of all, we have to understand the requirement of the question. How much do we need to invest? Means principal is unknown. In order to get 20,000 means amount is given 20,000. After 2 years means time is given 2 years. At the rate of 6% means rate is given 6%. Nothing is mentioned about the rate. It means 6% per annum. This is understood. You know, if nothing is given, it means per annum. So put all these value in this formula. 1 plus rate time into 100 equal to how much is 20,000. You have to find out P. 1 plus rate and time. Rate is 6%, time is 2, divide 100. Okay? Anyone can solve this equation? Anyone? So P is equal to 1 plus 12 divide 100. You can use Kelsey. You can use Kelsey. Yes, go. So P is equal to 20,000 divide 1.12. Use a Kelsey. 20,000 divide 1.12. Obviously, so you will get 17,857.14. You know, friend, so this is the answer, and into the examination hall you have 4 options like A, D, C, D. On D, 7857 17850 17810 17800. You just of the correct answer, D. So D is the correct answer. Understand the steps. You just read the question correctly. At least read 2 times. At least read 2 times. So friends, please note down. Please note down the answer. Whatever we will write, so you have to also write in your notebook. so that at the time of revision and for the understanding the chapter, you can do more and more practice. This is example. This is example with concept. You have to understand the concept, which formula I have used. Either you understand the concept or remember the formula. Both are important. First of all, understand the concept and then remember the formula. Without understanding the concept, you cannot retain the formula for very long time. For retaining the formula, it is very important to understand the concept behind. So, moving on, next question. I hope each and every student is enjoying my class. Don't take pressure. Focus on the concept part. Because mathematics and statistics, very interesting subject. But think like I am the expert of this subject. Think like at least you think at least 5 times in the mind and speak like I am the expert of this subject of the mathematics and statistics. I am the expert. I am the expert. Think like this. Ultimately you get a confidence from this subject. It means you feel like, yes, I understood the concept and this is my favorite subject. Then you can only get a good marks. So understand the concept, be positive. Don't speak, don't listen, don't talk negative words. Always speak, talk, write positive words. Then only you can get a good marks and understand the subject and remove the exam phobia, subject phobia. Okay friends, so 2 to 3 minutes I motivate. Ultimately I hope all are motivated. So third question of the today class. Okay friend. How much do we need to invest in order to get 1 lakh after 2 years at the rate of 10%. at the rate of 8%. Please try this question. I will give 5 minutes to solve this question. After the 5 minutes, we will discuss the steps how to solve this question. Follow my steps. I will give 5 minutes. Okay. Read 2 times. At least you have to read 2 times. Then you can only understand the question. Your first requirement is understand the question. Without understanding the question, you can't do. So understand the question. Ultimately, what is the requirement? What is the requirement of the question? How much do we need to invest in order to get 1 lakh after 2 years at the rate of 8%? Students, numbers are different, but concepts are same. Don't chase the number. You have to chase the concept. If you really understand the concept, you can do thousand questions, whether 10 questions, whether 20 questions, for the same concept. It's very student to students. If one student understands the concept, just 2 or 3 questions. And might be some of the students have they need to attempt 5 to 6 questions, 10 questions. In examination especially, you see 1 lakh amount is anything. Nobody about the 1 lakh. Amount is 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. And time is already different. In the examination, all time might be 1 year, time might be 3 years, 4 years, 8 years. And obviously rate is also different. We are here just because of concept, to understand the concept. In my class, each and every student familiar with the concept and do practice at home more and more questions based on this concept. With the help of this concept, you can attempt n number of questions. You have 2 minutes more. Please utilize the time and solve. Try to solve this question. After 5 minutes, I will solve for you. At least each and every student try, at least try. At least try. After 5 minutes, I will solve So friends, 5 minutes is over. Answer. First of all, read the question at least 2 times. How much do we need to invest in order to get 1 lakh rupees after 2 years at the rate of 8%? So amount is given. What about principal? And what about time? 2 years. What about rate? 8%. Nothing is mentioned. It means 8% per annum. So remember the formula. A is equal to P 1 plus RT upon 100, bracket close. A is 1 lakh, P is unknown, 1 plus, rate is 8%, time is 2, bracket close. So you solve this bracket, 1.16, solve this bracket. So you can say, or P is equal to 1 lakh divide 1.16. Use a calci. One lakh divide 1.16. How much? So you will get 86,206.89. So this is your answer at the examination. You have 4 options: A, B, C, D. 86,207, 86,307, 86,407, 86,507. You see, this is a rounding concept. If answer is round off, so your correct answer is A. A is your correct answer. So ultimately, for getting 1 lakh rupees after 1 year and at the rate of 8%, today you have to invest at least 86,207 rupees. Then you can only get after 2 years at the rate of 8%, you will get 1 lakh rupees. You will get 1 lakh rupees. Just a minute. So ultimately after, and you can also ask from this question like, what about interest? How much extra you will get after 2 years at the rate of 8%. So your extra amount is, you going to say, if you talk about the interest part, so your interest is 13,793. 13,793 is the interest. So this is another concept we have applied on here. You can say different type of questions. In the previous question, we have already used same type of formula. If you remember this formula, I have already derived the equation. In both way you can remember, either this one or derivation mode. So friends, today we will discuss some concept about simple, just a minute, this is the, just a minute. Just a minute. So friends, now discuss another concept, very important concept, and ultimately you enjoy a lot. You enjoy a lot. Very, very interesting. This is the chapter into the daily life. We have seen this type of questions. The question is money double. Money double. What is the formula for the money doubling? Money doubling formula. Money doubling means 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 2 crore, doubling 4 crore. Okay, 4 crore, 8 crore, 8 crore, doubling 16 crore, 16 crore, 32 crore, like this. Why I am writing? I wrote 5 to 6 times, just because you remember this formula, just because. So formula is, this is money double formula. Money double formula is RT is equal to 100. This is money double formula. This is money double formula. Either R is given or T is given. Ultimately, you have to find out either R or T. Money double formula is RT is equal to 100. Now money triple. Think about what is the formula. Think about formula for money triple. Please try. Money triple formula is RT is equal to 200. Money triple means 1 lakh is equal to 3 lakh. Now money triple, double, triple, yeah, money 2 times, money 3 times, now money 4 times. 4 times multiply. 4 times multiplies means 1 lakh is equal to 4 lakh. So now the formula is for the money converted into 4 times means formula is 300. Very, very important concept. Very, very short trick. You just use this formula, you get an answer. Without, at the examination hall, your one second is very important. So we will provide a trick, mathematics tricks. This is very important tricks. Very important formula. You just remember. Now money 5 times. 5 times means 1 lakh is equal to 5 lakh. 1 lakh is equal to 5 lakhs. Your formula is RT is equal to 400. RT is equal to 400. Your money 6 times. RT is equal to 500. Money 20 times. Anybody attempt? Money 20 times. What is the formula of the money 20 times? Very, very important tricks. I discuss very, very important tricks. Money 20 times. Formula is RT is equal to 1900. So money infinite times, like money say 10 times, okay, money 10 times, multiply 10 times. Nobody knows about the 10 times, 1000 times, 100 times, lakhs times. We write n times. So our formula is, this is a standard formula, just derived for you. Very important concept, discuss. Very important concept. RT is equal to n minus 1 into 100. This is very, very important concept I have discussed today. Very, very important concept. Please note down. Please note down. I wrote just triple 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 20 times, n times, just because you remember this formula. Just because you remember this formula, we write this like this. Just because you have to remember this formula. With this formula, you get the answer. With this formula, you get the answer. Okay, friends? Very important concept I have discussed today. How much time, after how much time you get the money double, triple, 4 times, 5, 6, 20 and n number of times. This is very important formula I have discussed. Take time and note down in your notebook. So friends, I hope all students note down this concept. I hope. So do some questions about for this concept, money double. Money double. Very important concept, money double. Question like a sum of money get double. A sum of money get double into 10 years. Find rate. Give me 5 minutes. Each and every student at least try to attempt this question. At least try. Very important question, daily life question. Everybody, every students, every businessman think like this. A sum of money get double in 10 years. Find rate. Which rate? Two unknown. Use my concept. We have already discussed. TopLad will, under the banner of TopLad, we will provide you such type of tricks, tips, so that you can solve each and every question within a second. Mark my word, within a second you can do very tough question, very within a second. Just because after the lot of analysis of the previous past papers, mock test paper, workbook, I do a lot of homework just because for you, so our student save time and within a second to solve the toughest question. Just use a calci. Just use a calci and put and get the answer. Just take 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes, I will solve this question for you. Take 5 minutes. Read 2 times. Think about formula. Put the numbers. Get the answers. But important point is at least 2 times reading is must. 2 reading is must. Without understanding the question, even you can't use the formula in the correct manner. If you really want to use the formula, so you have to understand each and complexity of the question, each part of the complexity of the question you have to understand. You have to understand. Very, very important question. Our institute asked many times. We have seen our institute asked friends, TopLad is the place you can get obviously good marks, you get tips, tricks, and do with a very, very few seconds solve the question. For the today class, my focus area is each and every student across India, whether in south, whether in north, whether in east, whether in west, all the region of the students, all students, whether north, whether south, whether east, whether west, understand the chapter, simple interest chapter in a very simple manner and get tips, tricks and formula. Just with the help of formula, you solve this type of tricky questions very without knowing the formula. You can't solve this question without knowing the formula. You have to remember the formula. This is into this question we asked double. Might be 40 times, might be 30 times. Then what will we do? For that situation, like 40 times, 100 times, 200 times, you have to remember the formula. You have to remember. For remember the formula, you just take a diary, pocket diary, read and write. Just use a small pocket diary. Write all the formulas. Read whenever you forget. You feel like I am forgetting. You feel I forget the formula of double the money, triple the money, 40 times the money. Just see. Immediately you see. Then you feel this formula after the 5-year, 10-year, when you got a degree, you become cost and management accountant, chartered accountant, company secretary. Even at the time of practice, other areas, you need this type of, you feel like you need the importance of the formula. And you remember after the 10 years. Why? You use the proper way which taught under the banner of TopLad. TopLad is do a lot of analysis of faculty just because for you do lot of analysis and provide tips and tricks how to remember. We will also how to remember the formulas very long time, very long time. I think 5 minutes is over. So now we will solve this question for you. So each and every students know about the formula double the money. Our formula is R2 is equal to 100. RT is equal to 100. Find rate. Rate is unknown, and time is 10 is equal to 100. So rate is 100 divided 10. Answer is what is the rate? Just this is the answer. This is 10%. A sum of money get double in 10 years. Find rate. So we can say a sum of money get double in 10 years at the rate of 10%. At the rate of find rate. So now another question. A sum of money get double sum of money get double at the rate of 6%. Find time. A sum of money get double at the rate of 6%. Find time. How much time? We get the double amount. Let's say we have 1 lakh rupees, we will get 2 lakh rupees. If we have 1 crore rupees, we will get 2 crore rupees. So this is, I will give you 5 minutes for this question also. Take a time, remember the formula, use the formula, do in a proper step. At the examination time, you can solve this question on calculator, but on here at the time of studying the concept, first time studying the concept, you have to write each and every step into your notebook so that you can remember. You can remember such type of situation very long time. You can understand. You mark my word. You mark my words. If you really want to learn, remember the thing, you have to write it. Whenever we will use our body part like eyes, brain, hand, all three are using at the same time. So this is the trick, retaining trick, long term retaining trick, long term. You can remember in long term. Simultaneously we will also providing the tips and trick so that you understand the subject and you feel very comfortable with this subject. Mathematics is everywhere, whether in chartered accountant course, company secretary course, cost and management accounting course, chartered financial analysis course. Mathematics is everywhere. Without mathematics, you can't do nothing. Whether accounting, whether cost accounting, whether strategic financial management, management accounting, even in audit, corporate laws, tax laws, direct tax, indirect tax, income tax, GST. Mathematics is everywhere. We have to understand the concept and then try to solve the question. So friends, I think 5 minutes is over. So we will solve this question for you. Our question is, a sum of money get double at the rate of 6%. Find time. So for our formula is RT is equal to 100. So rate is given. Rate is 6%. What about time? We have to calculate. So RT is equal to 100. So use the calci practice. What about time? So time is 16.67. A sum of money get double at the rate of 6%. At the rate of 6%. Find time. $16.67 years. You will get the amount double. Like if you have 1 crore, then you will get a 2 crore rupees. In another way, so in the exam you will get 4 options: A, B, C and D. For your answer is like A is 16 point, just a minute. Here you will A, B, C, D. 16.67, 16.17, 16.27, 16.37. The correct answer is A. A is the correct answer. 16.67 years. All are years. In another way, we can write 16.67. Like in the examination, you see 16.67. We can also write 16 years 8 months. 16 years 8 months. We in 16 years 8 months we get double amount at the rate of 6%. If you have 1 crore rupees, you will get it 2 crore rupees. So at the examination you will see A, B, C, D. Your answer is 16 years 8 months, 16 years 7 months, 16 years 6 months, 16 years 5 months. So our correct answer is A, 16 years 8 months. So this is a presentation. We can write 16.67 like this, 16 years 8 months. We just convert the year into the months. We just convert. So very important concept today we have discussed. Very important questions from this chapter. From this chapter we have discussed very important, at least 3 questions you will get you see at least 3 questions asked from this chapter, at least 3 questions, and you have to give importance each and every question if you really want to get 100 marks, because maths is a very scoring subject, very scoring subject. If you write correct answer, you will get full marks. There is though in theory paper, obviously you can get, might be chances to get not a full marks, but in the mathematics paper and statistics papers you will get full marks if you do the question proper steps. Obviously at the examination you just do attempt the question at the calci, but just for the sake of understanding the subject, understanding the chapter, at least beginners, at least who are the beginner of this subject, at least first time write all the steps into your notebook so that you can understand the subject very well manner. This is first advice from my side. So friends, this is a very important concept I have discussed today, and now moving on, just a minute. Remember, please remember this important concept, and also the trick we will now money double. Okay. I hope on this concept, money double, money triple, money 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, n number of times, I think you feel very comfortable. You feel very comfortable. So friends, we will try to attempt one question, examination questions. So be attentive. June 2017. June 2017 and December 2017. First we will attempt December 2017. See, the question is like a person deposit is rupees 2000 at the rate of 6%. That was 6%. Simple interest for 3 years. For 3 years, the amount, this is the language of the paper, mathematics paper. The amount he will get back after 3 years is option A 2300, B 2400, C 2360 and D 2350. This is your examination question asked in December 2017 attempt. I will give 5 minutes to solve this question. Use full. After 5 minutes, I will discuss this question. Try this question. This is the examination question asked in December 2017. A person deposit is 2000 rupees at the rate of 6% simple interest for 3 years. The amount he will get back after 3 years is, this is the examination question, friend. This is the examination question. Friends, please try. Each and every student in my class try to attempt this question. After the 5 minutes, I will solve this question for you. But at least you have to try. All the students. Today I already discuss the technique how to solve the mathematics question. First read at least 2 times very slowly. Don't be hurry because hurry spoil curry. Don't read the question 2 times. Remember the formula. Write formula, put the number and get the answer. Which one is correct answer? A, B, C or D? Which one is correct? After 5 minutes, I will solve this question for you. Try, at least try. Friends, those students at least who have at least in future attended the class in TopLad and watch this video, at least watch this video. You can understand the concept. You do revision with the faculty. At least watch this video and you get full marks. You get 100 out of 100 marks. You just watch this video. Either 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Watch this video. Always remember, practice makes a man perfect. If you watch this video 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, it means you remember the formulas, tips, tricks, and whatever guidance provided by the faculty. Into this video you can because each mode has different benefits. If you do study from the notes, if you do study from the books, and if you watch this video, if you watch the video, every mode has different benefits. Benefit of video, you can get tips, tricks, and whatever guidance, whatever the toughness of the chapter, because such type of whatever today we are sharing with you after the in-depth analysis of so watch this video. Watch this video, you will get a good marks. You will understand, and you understand the concept, subjects, and all the. Main thing is you put trust with any coaching institute. If you join n number of x number of you can any coaching, but when you joined, trust on them, whether TopLad or other one, any coaching you will join, trust on the faculty and do homework, do revision, and focus on the concept part. Don't the other thing like. Focus on the concept. Concept is important because your examination is on MCQ based. Nobody watch your writing and all other things. Presentation doesn't matter. You just get an answer. If you get a correct answer, you just take it, get a full marks. I am here just because for sharing my experience. Because teaching is my passion. I teach the student just because of passion. If you are my students, then you will get definitely a good marks. So now friends, we will try to solve this question, and this is a December 2017 attempt question. A person deposit is 2000 rupees at the rate of 6% simple interest for 3 years. The amount he will get back after 3 years is, so talking about the amount part. So amount is equal to principal plus interest. Principal is 2000, interest is PRT is equal to 100, 2000 plus principal is again 2000 rate 6 times 3 divide 100. So we will get 2000 plus this one is 360. The answer is 2360. It means C is the correct answer. You know, this is a step. This is the step you have to follow at the first time. First time you write all the steps into your notebook. First time. Whenever you do the revision, you just do the question on calci on other way. Whether you skip one step or two step and write a direct answer. But at the first time, you have to write all the steps. If you really want to remember the concept of this chapter, because this chapter is very practical chapter. After the Chartered Accountancy course, Company Secretary course, Cost and Management Accounting course, Chartered Financial Analyst course, we call it CFA. In all the professional courses, we need this type of situation. We will face this type of situation. So we attempted to discuss the December 17 question. Now we will discuss another question. Another question of June 2018. I will come back after this question. June 2018. I am just writing the same language of the question. Same language. The language of the question is simple interest on rupees 100 at the rate of 5% per annum for 5 years is, option is A 10, B 5, C 1 and D 1 is 25. I will give you 5 minutes. Each and every student attempt this question and follow my steps. Simple interest on rupees 100 at the rate of 5% per annum for 5 years is, which one is the correct answer? Which one is the correct answer? Either 10 is correct, 5 is correct, 1 is correct, or 25 is correct. Read the question 2 times, write the formula, put the numbers and get the answer. If you are a beginner, if you really do this chapter first time, at least note this question in your notebook with all the steps. Very important chapter. Very important chapter. Very important chapter. Today we are discussing. Very important chapter. At least try. Read the question 2 times. Each and every student of my class try to attempt this question. After the 5 minutes, I will discuss this question. I will solve this question for you, because this question give you 2 marks and at least 3 questions asked from this chapter. It means you get 6 marks. Each and every question, each and every chapter is important for. If you really are getting a good marks, if you really want to top, if you really want to become a topper, so you need to attempt each and every question. Each and every question is important. So friends, today we discussed the chapter, simple interest chapter, and we have attempted some questions. So I think 5 minutes is over. So we will solve this question for you. So our question demand is simple interest on rupees 100 at the rate of 5% per annum for 5 year is. So simple. Interest is equal to PRT divided 100. P is 100, rate is 5, time is 5, divide 100. So what is the interest? What is the interest? So which one is correct? D is correct answer. 25. Interest is 25. Interest is 25. This is the correct answer. This is the correct answer. So friend, this is the correct answer. And June 2019, see the question of June 2019. This is your examination question, June 2019. This is your examination question. And the question is, June 2019. And the question is, if I is the simple interest, R is the rate per percentage per annum, T is the time period, focus on the T is the time period, P being principal, then I is expressed as a I is expressed as 100 PRT, B 100 divide PRT, C PRT divide 100, D PRT. Which one is correct? So this is the question of your June 9, 2019 attempt. Just formula based question your institute asked, just formula based question. If you really remember the formula, you just within a second you just take the answer. The correct answer is C. C is the correct answer. This is the formula based question asked in the June 2019 attempt. So friends, I think you understood the concept of this chapter. So I think for today's session. You enjoyed a lot and you get something, you get extra, you get something about the simple interest chapter, and I hope you will definitely got something new from my class, and definitely TopLad is your right place. And this is from my side, this is the last question we have attempted June 2019. So this is from my side, friends. Goodbye. We will meet you tomorrow. Please take care.